Ontological coaching is considered the golden ticket in coaching. It's considered the coaching of the human soul. Hi, I'm Carol Mishkin. I'm a lover of life. I'm a lover of learning. I'm a lover of people. And I'm a lover of personal growth. I've always had a passion for the human mind and our potential and our transformation. I love the aha moments that I see when they realize, oh, I didn't have to think that way, and they feel empowered. I've done a lot of things in my life. I have a master's in education. I was a literature teacher. I was a learning disabilities teacher. And then I left the teaching world and I went into a textile design factory and I sold and designed textiles successfully for 13 years. And then I opened up a rose store. For 13 years, I had all got gifts that were related, and it was so fun, and it was also very successful. And then, having been through my own crisis, a lot of things had happened. My kids had gone to college. My father had died. A therapist I loved died. My sister left the country. So many things were going on. I went through my own breakdown of a depression. It was very unusual for me because I was always so optimistic and so positive and everything. I couldn't understand it. But I went through ontological coaching on myself. Ontological coaching literally made me come out of my depression. Oftentimes telling my teachers, okay, but when am I going to get out of this? When am I going to get out of it, out of my depression? And they would say to me, you've got to go through the tunnel. You've got to go through the tunnel to come out to the other side. And it was a very big learning experience, and I did it. It was the most wonderful, transformative experience ever. The world is always happening, but how you are being in it, how you see the world is where we intervene. So if I wake up and I start saying, wow, what exciting things is my day going to offer me today? I am already changing my way of looking at things, and that's going to allow me to act differently and behave differently. If you don't like how you are, you can change. You are not a tree. The outside doesn't have to change, ever. It's us inside that do the work. There's a depressed person. You don't go up to them and say, come on, change, start being happy. No, because why is that person in that space in the first place? Because of the thoughts that they're thinking, the repetitive, negative thoughts that keep them stuck. The contrary, what we would say is, what are you thinking? What are the stories that you're repeating yourself? Are they true? Can we turn them around? Can we see them from another perspective? Is there another way of telling that story? And when we start reframing and rewriting our narratives, then we start feeling better. And when we feel better, we start acting better. We don't spend a lot of time in the past. We do touch it because that's where a lot of our beliefs are stored and come from. But mostly the coaching is to see who you are right now, to change out of those emotional states and stories to have different results, to have different emotions, to have different behavior. So sometimes somebody can be really fine in their work and terrible at home, or terrible at home and fine in their work. So we try to identify what is the area that you're having a trouble with. You start to undo and unravel the stories that keep them tied into their narratives that they have memorized, and they just become themselves. For me, I find that self-care and self-love is essential for all of these growth things, as well as forgiving. We're talking to the body, the emotions, and the language. A lot of our ontology has to do with rewording, because our language is generative and our language creates actions. From what I understand of the other coaching, it's more specific. They want to go solve one problem. This is transforming the human, and it's taking us in all of our aspects. How are we in our emotions? How are we in our language? How are we in our relationship? It's more holistic, because we're talking about the soul itself, the human being, your way of being in the world. I offer a 3-month plan with 2 times a month or 3 times, depending on your needs, or sometimes we need more company, and sometimes we can manage. And in that process, we discuss communication, we discuss our words, we discuss our feelings, we discuss our way of being. And so it's like new languages are being introduced into a coaching session. Sometimes if you're pretty together and everything, you have a specific thing I offer, you're in a funk, you want one session to center you, we can do that. But true change takes time, takes repetition. It's said that 21 days changes a habit, but 90 days it takes for it to be totally incorporated. And the session is an hour session, and it's a lot of questions, and I send a resume of our whole conversation with the person. I also give exercises. Meditation is a very big part of our healing and our incorporating and our listening to ourselves. It's a total growth. It's like going to school again, but school of the soul. Something we were never taught in school. I have read that within the next 2 years, every single job that there is and every place is going to recommend having their own coach, because we live so much in our internal worlds that knowing that if we change them and empower them, we're going to have different results outside, to help others make their life a happy and content and fulfilled life, and to feel empowered, to feel that they can make decisions and believe in themselves. It's really important for a coach to find out how we are talking to ourselves and how we talk to our world and about our world. Practicing a new behavior, practicing a new language, practicing a new way of seeing things. It's looking out the window, and although there are clouds in the sky, focusing on the blue points. What are we focusing on? That's an important thing.